How's it going, everybody? We just got an announcement from Bethesda for a content roadmap for 2020 for Fallout 76. This has a lot of information in it, and there's a few kind of reading between the lines information that we can really gather here, and I wanted to break that down today. So let's break down the 5 major takeaways from this roadmap. Number 1 is the seasonal content. Bethesda are trying their hand at a battle pass system, and in the developer blog it even calls this out specifically, saying that this is our take on a season pass style system designed specifically for Fallout 76, and everyone will be able to join in the summer fun immediately when our first season arrives in Update 20. A key difference is that with most battle pass systems, there is a free pass and a fancy premium pass. All of the best rewards are typically locked behind the premium pass. Bethesda are not doing this, saying that all players will have full access to a single unified progression path, which means everyone is working towards the same goals through the entire season. One progression path from 0 to 100 ranks, using a new point system called Score, which I'm sure stands for something very Fallouty, just like camp and special. You know how it's a very Fallout thing, right? Doing these kind of cheeky naming conventions. You will earn something for each rank, like a unique outfit, an item for your camp, a weapon skin, a power armor, paint, consumables, per card packs, items, even in-game currencies like script, caps, and gold bullion. It's also mentioned that this is an account-wide progression and will be accessible from the main menu, so it won't matter which character you're playing on, you will gain most of these rewards. You will unlock cosmetic items like outfits and weapons for all the characters on your account, and they will be visible for you in the Atomic Shop. When you unlock consumables like the repair kits or in-game currencies like caps, they will only apply to one of your characters, which I think is the right decision because, you know, let's say that one of the rewards, like rank 90 is like 1,000 caps. At level 1, this isn't really valuable to you, and, you know, caps aren't really valuable that much in the game anyway. They're mostly just used for fast travel, but it ruins the balance of the game a little bit, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, but that is really a key focus that we can kind of gather from this roadmap, is smoothing out the experience for all players and having a real consistent balance for the game itself. Earning score rewards will be done in 2 ways, either buying with Adam or earning in-game with the new revamped challenge system. Daily, weekly challenges you see in the challenger screen are going to be revamped as to make them easier to obtain, and this will be the primary method of earning the ranks for this new season pass system. These goals are going to be a lot simpler than what we've had in the past, and they mention things like level up, complete an event, and kill legendary creatures, so they shouldn't be too difficult, and it's anticipated that 1 to 2 hours of gameplay will net you one of these ranks. You can also buy score ranks with atoms. Each rank will be 150 atoms, meaning if you want to buy every single rank in the past, it's 15,000 atoms, which you may know that atoms can be earned in-game or bought with microcurrencies. 15,000 atoms would set you back around $225, give or take, depends on your currency conversion and how it kind of works, but for us, Australian, it would be about $225. I wouldn't expect anyone to be purchasing all of the ranks, as surely you are playing the game and you would earn a fair few of these ranks via the natural method, and maybe with the atoms that you earn in-game, you would buy a few extra ranks as well. So I wouldn't anticipate that you would have to spend, you know, $200 to get to rank 100. Maybe, you know, that is your choice, and Bethesda would be chasing some of these whales with this method. That's why it would cost that much if you wanted to buy all of the ranks, same as how Fallout First is a pretty of a hexy price. But honestly, I think this is a good idea for the game, and it adds more value and things to do as your day-to-day experience. And, you know, you can log on every day, do those challenges, earn those ranks. Gives you something to achieve, a goal for the end game, rather than, you know, in the end game it really is at the moment just chasing the reputation and the gold bullions that were added with Wastelanders. It's another thing for you to chase. The best piece of advice is to start saving your atoms now for when the system launches, and they're going to add different seasons with each of the updates that are coming. They're going to last about 10 weeks with a couple of weeks in between them just to kind of refresh it. It would be really good if with these updates they add more than just these items to tick off the list. If they change the world in some kind of unique way, because they do mention that every season is going to be themed in a specific way. I really hope that they really bring this into the game itself and not just on the screen where you rank up. The next major takeaway is increasing endgame activities and reasons to log in. We did touch on this a little bit with the season score ranks and giving you more to do in-game with the daily challenges, but the big thing here is that the season content isn't the only new things that they're adding. With the fall update, they are adding the daily ops, and with the winter update, they are adding a thing called expeditions, which is a new repeatable mission for players. Now, as you probably know, the daily quests that are in Fallout 76 at the moment are very simple to complete. It's mostly a fetch quest. You get one one every day, go get this item, bring it back to me, get your rewards. They're very rudimentary, they're very simple. I would imagine what the daily ops are is a more intricate daily quest. These dailies would be something like a multiple step quest with different solutions maybe, and I kind of have a feeling that they're going to be themed around the Brotherhood of Steel's arrival, because this update is going to be launched with the first section of the Brotherhood of Steel storyline. It would make sense that these daily operations are kind of like a themed event to prepare you for the arrival of the Brotherhood of Steel. Maybe you're gathering items and building locations for the Brotherhood of Steel to, when they come in, they're going to live at those locations, or you're preparing things for them, clearing out areas. In the winter update, we are getting expeditions, repeatable missions. I would expect this content to be similar to like a raid or dungeon-like content in other MMO style games, kind of like ESO, how they have trials and dungeons as well. This is what I would expect here, and this is a good thing for the game, especially after they've done the combat rebalance. So hopefully these repeatable raid or dungeon-like content is well balanced and a good difficult experience for you to do in the end game. And again, it's adding more activities for the hardcore player, more things to do. It may even be that the daily ops content is a dungeon style content, because in the Fractured Steel section you can see an icon that says they're adding new daily ops, and it does kind of give me like a dungeony kind of vibe, with the gate opening, that kind of thing. And maybe the expeditions is like a raid content. Honestly, we'll just have to wait and see, but I think this is a good addition. The more the merrier to do with the end game, honestly. This is the right direction that they should be moving in. Number 3 on this list is the One Wasteland for All and the combat rebalance. The fall update is focused on the One Wasteland for All, rebalancing the combat and scaling rewards and enemies to your current level, similar to the One Tamriel update for ESO. I think this is a much needed change. Recently for myself, starting out a new character for the Wastelanders update, coming across a high level enemy and getting one shot and having nothing you can do about it is completely unfun. This should hopefully alleviate this problem, and it also has big implications for the end game for Fallout 76. Hopefully what this means is that they're going to smooth out some of those ridiculously overpowered builds in the game, and even if you're not a min-maxer for your perk cards and your specials, once you hit those higher levels, most of the content is just a breeze. As most of the zones don't contain max level enemies, they are very easy to deal with, and even the max level enemies, really, when you're at those higher levels, are a breeze to move through. I've been doing some questing with my viewers on stream, and as they are max level, my level doesn't scale, but the enemy's level scale. So they're level 50, I was around the high level 20s, they were in the hundreds. They practically one-shot the enemy, and for me, I'm tickling them. It does absolutely nothing. This isn't really a fun experience for new players, and for the end game players as well. It's not that enjoyable to just one-shot everything as you're breathing through. What this should do is create a smoother process for both the high level players and the new players, so everyone can explore and enjoy the world together. Nerfing the top end and creating a better standard really also means that these instance content that we were talking about, raids and dungeons, hopefully what that can mean is that they can be added to the game, and that they can be enjoyable content that's not just, one, maybe buggy, but two, a breeze to move through because your character is so overpowered. If they smooth down those damage numbers and kind of have everyone on a level-ish playing field at that top level, creating a real endgame experience, that's something that's missing from Fallout 76. Whether it's PvP or PvE, and it's most likely going to be PvE because that is what this game is mostly based around, because the PvP is now in the nuclear winter mode. I really think this is a good direction to create repeatable dungeon-style content for the game at that top level. Number 4 is the camped instance interiors. This is a really small footnote on the roadmap, but I think it really needs to be explored. The Fractured Steel Winter Update mentions that camps, shelters will be added, allowing you to build instance interiors for your camp. We don't really have much more information on this other than that. However, based on what we have with Wastelanders and these new instance types that were added with Wastelanders, allowing you to have the branching stories with Wastelanders, with the different options with the NPCs, this is what I think the camp will mostly focus on for a couple of reasons. One is that we will be able to have a separate interior camp budget, which will be able to be significantly larger than the outer budget because it's not a direct strain on the public servers. So hopefully this means that you'll have more customization, more of a personal affection and decor to your camps. Like your outside budget will be used for the outside of your camp. You'll go through a door and you'll transition to that interior where you can deck it out with whatever you like. I imagine this is going to be a much needed at this time, especially because by this time we've had 3 season passes, and there's also already an abundance of items for the camps in the game. So this will hopefully give you more of a budget for your camp, which is something that a lot of players are asking for. So it's a much needed change. The second big thing, which I haven't actually seen anyone talk about, is I think this will be Bethesda's solution to giving the player more choice in some of the stories as well as their companions. As it currently stands, you can have one companion active at your camp by placing their specific item. They pretty much spawn and their interaction is very little, and the reason you can only have one and they don't do a whole lot is to avoid that server strain that we kind of touched on a little bit earlier. You don't want to have everyone on the server having multiple NPCs instanced to their camp, moving around, doing things. It just adds unnecessary strain. If they're moving this behavior to an instance location specific to you, what this means, in my mind at least, is that you could have multiple companions in your camp at once. They could be doing different things. They could be interacting with each other and interacting with you in interesting ways, giving more depth to the game and to the companions themselves, because they are interesting characters. We want to talk to them. We want to learn more about them. And I really think this would be a wasted opportunity for Bethesda to not expand the current companion system, because right now there is only 2 companions, so it's not a big deal. But with this update, they're also adding more companions, so it makes sense for them to work on this feature so that you can have instance camps, so you can have more companions, more developed camps, because by this time we're going to have so much camp items, we're going to have new companions, we're going to have the old companions. Why not develop that system and the personality that you bring to the game more, because that's what's going to bring people back. And that's that same feeling that you have with other Fallout games, is that living in the world, and that's what this game is missing. And I think that this will help bring that personality out and that feeling of belonging in the world. The final major takeaway is more of a reading between the lines, and it seems to me that after the big sweeping changes that Wasteland has made to the game, this year's remaining content is set to fill out the world and with more activities and tasks and things to do, rather than crafting massive world-changing events, recreating huge chunks of the map like what happened with Wastelanders. I would expect that this would allow development time to be spent on another big Wastelanders type update for 2021. They may have originally had a 4th column to this roadmap, which would have been like a Wastelanders type release, but it may have got pushed out into 2021 due to the Wastelanders delay. If you remember, Wastelanders was originally set to release late 2019. Obviously, we're now 4 months into 2020 when Wastelanders came out, so maybe, if everything went according to plan, this would have had another big release at the end of this year, and it's now been pushed into next year. As a separate little side note, Bethesda aren't planning a big digital event for E3 this year, as obviously E3 isn't happening, and they're not going to do their own digital event. So this would mean that there isn't any big staged event where Fallout 76 and other Bethesda titles really need to show off a big, new, exciting thing, right? So Fallout 76 can kind of just keep ticking over, add these little changes to the game, and then come out next year with a big marketing push for another big Wastelander style update. I've seen a lot of speculation around the pit because the NPCs from Wastelanders did come from there, and with Washington just around the corner, it would be a really smart marketing move from Bethesda's part to return to Fallout 3 Wasteland well before the events of Fallout 3, similar to what ESO has done by adding regions from the mainline Elder Scrolls games well before their timelines, because ESO is set thousands of years before the events of the mainline games. It's just a smart marketing move and safe bet for Bethesda to return to familiar locations so you can kind of bridge that gap between the single player Fallout fans and the Fallout 76 fans. Anyway guys, that's all from me today. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this roadmap. Are you excited for what they're adding? Is there something missing that you would like to see them add? I'd love to chat about it and hear your opinion, especially on Twitch, where I stream 3 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday night times. Let's chat about this update and anything else, really. Just come and have a chat. Let's have a good time. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well, and please subscribe. Thank you for everyone who has subscribed in the past. We did recently hit 1,000 subscribers, and that makes me very excited, so thank you so much guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching this video. My name is NorZZa, and have a great day.